So lowly. Royal Insider reveals Meghan couldn't contain her greed to steal Duchess Catherine's stuff. Hello and a very warm welcome to our Kate Middleton and the Queen News YouTube channel. Today, a source has reported that Meghan tried to, or maybe she even did manage to steal jewelry from Catherine. This insider said, "What I seem to remember for this topic is that Meghan Markle borrowed jewelry, as is common in the royal family. Then Meghan Markle lost whatever was borrowed, then never found nor returned the jewelry." This occurred before her wedding, which put the Queen on alert. Personally, if I had been loaned any valuable pieces, I would have been extra vigilant in ensuring their safety. The other part I seem to remember is that Meghan Markle was loaned an imitation tiara to use for her fitting with her wedding dress, veil, and hair. I don't think the royal family would have had time to have a quality imitation made, so I would think that there are duplicates of several of the best pieces of jewelry already on hand. Several have even suggested that, unbeknownst to her, she also wore the imitation tiara on her wedding day too, since she was known to lose things. I wish I could say I was shocked to hear all of that, but you know what? I wasn't, because this perfectly aligns with who Meghan is as a person. Recently, I also read some really interesting stuff about the value of many of the tiaras in the royal collection. Apparently, one of the most valuable pieces was the one that Meghan was wanting to wear for her wedding, and they didn't let her, of course. Instead, she was offered the choice of several others. I was always wondering why she was so insistent that she wear that particular tiara. There are a few different sources who reported that supposedly the Queen told Harry and Meghan that Meghan was not allowed to wear that tiara because they weren't sure where it came from, but the rumor is that it came from Russia. And then another theory came out after the marriage of Princess Eugenie and Jack Brooksbank, as she wore that tiara at her wedding. At the time, people were speculating that Eugenie had already requested to wear that tiara, and the Queen had granted that request before Meghan thought to ask. Now, I think that Eugenie, her parents, and the Queen wouldn't want any suggestions that the princess was copying Meghan by wearing the exact same tiara, and I don't blame them. I also suspect Meghan became enraged seeing Eugenie wearing it, and she started spreading the news amongst family members in retaliation. Now, Meghan would have had to do a lot of research to find the many tiaras in the royal collection. For somebody who never wore a real tiara in her entire life, I mean, I'm included too, I never wore one, but it seems like wearing any tiara should have been appreciated by Meghan. I mean, it should have been an honor, or at least it should have been exciting to her. But now I think I'm understanding the situation a lot more. Of course, Meghan Markle would insist on wearing the most expensive tiara. Now, the other reason that I could believe is that Meghan Markle was trying to one-up Eugenie, who had most likely put in her request for that tiara to her grandmother and had been granted that wish for a wedding that was supposed to happen not too long after Meghan and Harry's. So perhaps Meghan Markle was trying to use her status to get something that Eugenie wanted. And then when she didn't get her way, she started up with the lies. She was trying to take away from Eugenie, the bride who was wearing the crown that she wanted. That does sound like something Meghan Markle would do, doesn't it? And after all the lies she's told, after all the horrible behavior we have witnessed from Meghan, there are very few things that I believe she wouldn't do. Both Harry and Meghan have a huge sense of entitlement, and they feel like the royal family should give them everything they want. It doesn't matter whether or not they're working royals. Their lies and their ugly behavior has caused so many people to react to them with horror and disgust, and there are not many people out there who believe a word they say anymore. There are so many stories about Harry and Meghan acting very abusive and acting like a couple of bullies, and apparently that even included Prince William's children. Clearly, Meghan Markle did not do her homework about how succession affects income and status within the royal family. If she had actually done her research, and if she had realized that the distribution of wealth was heavily dependent on where the royal was in the line of succession, I don't think she ever would have agreed to marry Harry. This was never a marriage that was based on trust and love. Let's get that straight. From the get-go, I am sure that Meghan viewed this as a business transaction, which actually is why I'm surprised that she didn't do her homework about the distribution of money before she married Harry. I guess she assumed that once they got married, she could enter vaults and pick out whatever jewelry she wanted to, and the money would just keep on flowing in. Honestly, though, I'm kind of shocked that Meghan didn't get the facts straight when it came to finances, because if the assets, including the jewelry and other valuable items, were not heavily monitored, they would have been lost or taken a long time before Meghan ever married Harry. See, the assets in the royal family pass from monarch to monarch, as it should be. It's true that some personal effects may be offered to family members when somebody passes away, but typically they are given to the blood royals for lifetime use. I did hear that when the Queen passed away, Princess Anne got her iconic pearls, which I think is such a great thing. Actually, I'd be pretty surprised if the Queen left anything at all to people who were only in the royal family by marriage. I think she left most everything to her blood kin. But at the same time, the Queen and Sophie Wessex were so close, so maybe she left a little something for her. Of course, we will never know exactly what was in the Queen's will unless we hear the news of it, which I don't think is ever going to happen. The marriage of Harry and Meghan seems to be falling apart at a rapid pace. Meghan hasn't been seen in public since Spare came out. And as with everything else, we're just going to have to wait for the announcement from Buckingham Palace that Meghan and Harry, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, have finally gotten divorced. I think they are done with Harry, though, and having her also despise Harry is only going to cause more negative stories to come out. And Harry's just going to continue to do the same old stuff he's always doing, blaming his family for all of his problems. I suspect after Meghan leaves him, it's going to get even worse. But I wouldn't put anything past her. She is evil. I mean, let's remember, this was the woman who was taking photos of Charlotte while the poor thing was asleep without permission, and she was trying to sell them. Let's just remember, Meghan Markle never does anything in her life unless it's going to benefit her. We know that. Meghan is dangerous. And why is she being so quiet now? It is very suspicious. It's like when you hear a 2-year-old alone in the other room being strangely quiet. You know something is up. You've got to go in there and check. I suspect that Meghan is scheming and plotting away. And as usual, she's going to have somebody else do her dirty work. And I'm sure whatever it is going to negatively affect both Harry and the royal family. Now, Meghan did do some research. I'll give her credit for that, because she looked for things that she could blackmail the royal family with. And sadly, Harry was probably the one to give her all that information, and I guess that's all she felt like she needed. What she did not look into, though, was how the people who caused the royal family real problems end up. I think she missed that in her research. Meghan believes that she's gonna win. She really is that delusional and insane. And you know what? Now that I think about it, we will probably hear about their divorce from Scooby-Doo first. And he's going to make Harry look bad. It'll probably go something like this. Well, Meghan had no choice but to divorce Harry. He put her in a very difficult situation and she didn't want to, but clearly Harry's just so sick in the head, she had to do what she had to do. Meghan Markle and Scooby-Doo have a very strange relationship. I guess she's his boss. I don't know. He does whatever she tells him to. That much is for sure. And I'm sure Meghan's got some kind of photos to back up her claims. Meghan and Harry's fans are not going to know what hit them. But they look so happy together. Well, yeah, Meghan also wanted world fame, and she got it by marrying Harry. Now, before they got married, we know she was a Z-list actress. I mean, unless you were a fan of late-night TV series, you probably wouldn't even know her. I sure didn't. People around me didn't know her, and just look at her now. I do suspect that Meghan did her research when it came to the hierarchy. She looked up the money, but she assumed that she could just ride the coattails of Harry's popularity. Now, at the time, Harry was actually almost as popular as his late grandmother, the Queen, and nobody was upset about his popularity. Nobody was jealous of him, but things obviously did not turn out that way. The shine of the new fake jewel began fading after the first engagement interview. Nobody knew Meghan, that's the thing. She was an unknown actress, she was never very successful, and I'm sorry, but that woman is not beautiful. Now, maybe she's cute, I'll give her that, but when I look at her, I do not think that she's just drop-dead gorgeous. So people immediately started seeing right through her, thanks to the manipulation, the lies, the front and center pushover, having to one-up everybody all the time, being a bully, a liar, and then we got to the birth of Archie, the secrecy making the Queen lie in her statement. And things didn't get any better after the supposed baptism, and then the fact that the two of them fly around in private jets while preaching to us that we need to reduce our carbon footprint. That Africa interview was a complete disaster, so incredibly out of touch, so entitled, and obviously she was trying to copy the late Diana. It was just very cringy. Everybody was seeing it. Meghan was making a fool out of both of them. The tabloids really just took advantage of the situation, and the rest, as we say, is history. And what about you? What do you think of our news today? Please let me know your opinion below in the comments section, and we can also discuss your thoughts and feelings. If you found our video helpful, please don't hesitate to share it with your friends and family who would enjoy it too. And don't forget to subscribe to Kate Middleton and the Queen News YouTube channel to get more videos from our team. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a lovely evening, and I'll be back to see you later.